I remember a friend of mine who went to his place. It's a house, I think a 2-bedroom house, and he needed to sneak in between all the percussive instruments. This guy knows a lot of things of anything. So I would like to leave you guys with Leander Motta, Oswaldo Amorim, Bruno Medina, and Renato Vasconcellos.
Thank you. Welcome to Brazil. And I was wondering, how can we explain the difference between samba and bossa nova? It's hard to say, it's hard to tell, because it's pretty much the same music. Maybe I'll do a comparison with jazz. Jazz is a music that came from the African American musicians and has a root very strong in Africa, and you all Americans know maybe more than I know the jazz history. So we'll do a kind of a parallel in Brazilian music. Samba is the origin of Brazilian music. It came from Africa, pretty much African American musicians, and the samba was born during the slavery, and after the slavery, the people were in the streets and trying to find jobs, and being a musician was great, but it was not easy, because same way like happened in America. So we'll do like, and we are not actors, but I invite these guys to do what we call pay the monkey, pagar o mico. It's maybe doing something silly, but I think this is gonna be much better than talk about quarter notes, 16 notes, and we will talk a little bit about whitewashing, of course, same thing that happened in jazz, as far as I know. So we are here representing workers that came from the work on a bar playing samba. And everything acoustic. They don't know what we are gonna play, but they will figure it out. So we are coming from, construction and painting houses and doing plumbing. We are dressed up like these guys. So they go to a bar and drink some stuff, and the music will happen. Let's see what's happening. samba doesn't happen. Vai querer?
Mas é verdade que tem uma cachaçinha. Cervejinha tá gelada.
Não, cerveja.
Em África é isso,
Saravá.
saúde.
So, how is life treating you, Bruno? Are you working pretty hard?
Not much.
Not much. Where do you
I
live?
need more money. It's very
Very
difficult.
Our English is the best. The best. The best. I don't have, I'm painting my house. I call these guys to help me. So we need the samba to make our lives a little better. And the lyrics of this tune is kind of what we're trying to do. Sadness, please go away of my life. My soul is crying. Watching my hand? Wow. Watching. I'm suffering. My heart is the house of sadness. Look, feel the poetry. My house, my heart is the house of sadness. Please, sadness, go away. Leave me alone. I already suffered enough. I want to go back to my happy life. I want to sing again. La la ya, la la ya. So it's singing along with the percussion is enough to do a song. The singing and the percussion is pretty much the soul of the song. So that's why we brought, and also the cachaça. Cheers. Leander, if you don't have any percussion, a little samba here. Quero de novo samba. Anel. The matchbox is really an instrument. A lot of samba players, they use the matchbox, on the bar, and, lighting a cigarette and using the matchbox. And of course, the pen, and sometimes with the fork and the knife. So everything can be an instrument for samba. On a poor house with just a little amount of instruments, just use whatever you have. So we'll sing another one that I like very much. It's this song Tristeza. I think is very well known abroad. There's another one, and this is not a very old samba song. I mean, maybe Tristeza from the 50s or 60s. When I was a kid in the 60s, I remember this. This one is, I would guess, the 70s. Não deixe o samba morrer. Okay? So this is a little different because it's a samba in minor key. Which is, the other is talking about sadness by the major key with up. And this is a little more, the lyrics I'll try to do. Oswaldo, whose English is much better than mine, will talk and do the free translation. Okay. Dó menor, bom. Okay. Don't let the samba die. That's the title. Quando eu não puder pisar mais na avenida, quando as minhas pernas não puderem aguentar, levar meu corpo
Eu vou ficar no meio do povo espiando, minha escola perdendo ganhando, mais um carnaval. Antes de me despedir, sambista mais novo, o meu pedido final. Antes de me despedir, deixo ao sambista mais novo o meu pedido final. Toca a bateria! Não deixe o samba morrer, não deixe o samba acabar. O morro foi feito de samba pra gente sambar. Deixe o samba morrer, não deixe o samba acabar. Não, o morro foi feito de samba pra gente sambar. Vai na bateria! Eu vou ficar no meio do povo espiando, minha escola perdendo, ganhando, mais um carnaval. Antes de me despedir, deixo ao sambista mais novo o meu pedido final. Antes de me despedir, deixo ao sambista mais novo o meu pedido final. Não deixe o samba morrer, não deixe o samba acabar. O morro foi feito de samba pra gente sambar. Deixe o samba morrer, não deixe o samba acabar. O morro foi feito de samba pra gente sambar. O morro foi feito de samba pra gente sambar. O morro foi feito de samba pra gente sambar. Don't let the samba die. O morro, the hill where poor people live, is made from samba. Samba for dance. So when I can't anymore go in the street, Oswaldo, please. Free translation.
Good morning.
This German guy is Brazilian.
Believe it. So the title is Don't Let the Samba Die. And when I cannot stand to walk in the avenue.
The avenue is the
Yeah,
parade.
The parade, yeah. When my legs, I can't stand it there anymore. I will take my body with my samba and my ring of
Bamba
finger,
is the top guy in the samba scale. Very important
Yeah.
man, o Bamba do samba.
So the legacy of it represents by this ring, I will deliver to someone who deserves to use it. And I will stay in the middle of the people inspiring my Sunday school lose or win one more carnival. And before to the farewell, I led to the sambista, the youngest samba players, my last wish. Don't let the samba die. Don't let the samba die. The hill was made of samba. Samba for us to dance and to play and to sing.
Yeah. He was born in the hill, but his English is good.
So we're talking about whitewashing. And Leander came with an idea a couple of days ago, saying that Jobim, everybody knows Tom Jobim, maybe the most famous Brazilian musician. And Jobim was on a conversation with João Gilberto. He said, in the late 50s, beginning of the 50s and 60s, he was producing recordings, the first recordings of Bossa Nova. And, you know, he would call the percussionist. The guy who came with a bottle of cachaça and a lot of instruments, and he was looking for a more cool style, the same thing in jazz. I don't want that traditional New Orleans jazz. I want the cool jazz with Miles Davis on them, with the trumpet, the guitar muffler, no Wes Montgomery. No, Jobim was looking for this. He was aware of what was going on in the US. He knew, he was like a middle class. He never lived in the hill. He lived, because the hill is far from the beach. Jobim lived 1 block from the beach. And, you know, the famous girl from Ipanema, and this is the theme and the philosophical fundamental of Bossa Nova. So Jobim told the guys, let's use the drum set the same as in US, instead of the washboard and all the tuba. The jazz was a little white with Paul Whiteman. It's interesting. The first guy to record and one of the most important jazz players in the beginning of the 20th century was called Paul Whiteman. And so Jobim was not a prejudice, was a choice of a different kind of music. And said, no, these guys, they play too loud. They came here so happy, but I love this, but I need something different. I need something different. And at that time, there were a couple, Johnny Alf, pianist, and Claudette Soares, singer, and they were black, but they didn't become famous on a bossa nova. Of course, we know Johnny Alf, he is the author of beautiful music, but the Trinity, Jobim, Gilberto, and Vinicius de Moraes, they kind of ruled the thing. So our intention to bring the workers from the house into like a samba table is a matter of tell a little bit of this story. Now we will tell them something about samba and how hard is the life of the samba players.
Yeah, the samba players. In the hill, so they had to struggle in life. So, like Renato said, they had to sing and play to make their lives happy. But maybe I'll talk more about Bossa Nova.
Okay.
And Jobim looked at that and he liked the music, but I think he had to say his own language. So that's the beautiful thing in Bossa Nova, is that you appreciate something, but it's not yours, truly yours. So the samba is from those people, but I admire those people, and I want to use some of that music, some of that feeling in my own life, and express myself in the way that feels right for me. So I think that the good thing about Bossa Nova is that you don't let the samba die, but you transform according to each one's life. So I think that was beautiful of Bossa Nova, to expand the samba language to another environment, to another people, and that maybe from people who were listening to Jobim, to those other players, maybe was closer to them, so they could appreciate more. Was appreciating the samba through another language that derives from that first one.
Great.
Oswaldo, want to say something?
Yeah.
Just a compliment. And in regard to Bossa Nova, when you could see Renato playing the acoustic guitar, and he was kind of playing the rhythm of tamborim, and that was the great João Gilberto did back then. So he used like all the syncopations from the percussion instruments, and he adapted to the acoustic guitar. And Jobim, who was like doing a lot of arrangements for radio, for albums, he was recording an album, famous album, called Canção do Amor Demais, of Elisete Cardoso, back in 1958. And so he met João Gilberto, and his way of playing the acoustic guitar with all the syncopations, and he could hear the tambourines and the pandeiro in his way of playing. He said, I want to use this guy in this recording. And he used João Gilberto on the song Chega de Saudade, that is like the opening track from this famous album of Elisete Cardoso, who wasn't a Bossa Nova singer. And she was like a famous singer back then, but she wasn't a Bossa Nova singer. And after that recording, that people say that was the birth of Bossa Nova. It was the first time that you could hear João Gilberto playing, and the way that he was playing the acoustic guitar really transformed Brazilian music back then. And in the same year, he recorded like a single called Chega de Saudade, the same, but he was singing, not Elisete, and he modified again the Brazilian music by the way that he was singing. Without tristeza, he was tristeza, almost like this, whispering, kind of Chet Baker influence also. Yeah, it was the same time, like the cool jazz and he was doing that. So it's very interesting, like, and of course, with like this whole conception of João Gilberto was like including with the poetry of Vinícius de Moraes, and also the arrangement and the compositions of Antônio Carlos Jobim, who was using for the first time, as Renato said, French horn and other instruments like flute, I forgot the name of bassoon.
Orchestral.
Yeah, orchestral. So he was using like all kinds of different like environment for that music, besides the way of singing and all the syncopations that João Gilberto was doing. That was the birth of Bossa Nova. 58.
Thanks, Oswaldo. What Oswaldo said, it works for the samba, works for Bossa Nova. João Gilberto really created a new way of playing the guitar. But watch how the guitar is a kind of a reduction of the percussion. My thumb plays this one. Which is downbeat. Faz o tamborim. And the other, this part of the hand he does tap tap. Watch out. Go ahead. The thumb keeps the downbeat, and this part is the syncopation. So João Gilberto, he was doing like a rubato thing. He would do like sorry, I'm not a guitarist. but this is interesting how the groove of the bossa nova or the samba come from here. So the importance of percussion, of knowing percussion. That's why Hamilton and Mike are trying to make you involved with the percussion, because if you understand the percussion language, it's going to be easier to understand Brazilian music. So now I'm going to ask you for 3 minutes. I'll play a bossa nova on the boombox, while we're going to call the guys from the bossa nova. Okay? 3 minutes. Even less. On a conversation documented, I'm not inventing this, Jobim and Vinicius de Moraes speaking, and they really like the thing. They are always drinking, and even interviews, you could hear, Vinicius de Moraes, the author of most of the poetry, he would say, people say that the dog is man's best friend. I would say another thing. The best friend of the man is this thing. Maybe we could call a bottle dog. This is true. He said this. O cachorro engarrafado. The bottle inside the dog inside a bottle. So this is just a sign, a symbol of Jobim and his artistry, but kind of it's kind of guess. It's a guess. So now I introduce you these guys, all from Ipanema. They live very. We just came from the beach. Just came from the beach. We had nothing to do. Are you working? No, your father. I don't need it. Don't need it. What this guy? What this man? He needs to work. No. Look at this man. Fashion outfit. You know, we don't need. We live close to the beach. We play racket. We play beach tennis, and we go to the bar. We don't drink cachaça. We drink this. So it's all to talk about the first bossa nova hit. So we'll do for you. Olha, singer. Oh, these samba singers, they should know Frank Sinatra. That's a singer.
Yeah, that's a singer.
Even João Gilberto kind of is listening, capturing the part of
Some stuff with me and Chet Baker also.
Chet Baker, yeah.
But Frank.
And this guy, what's his name? Stanley. Stanley, are you American?
Yeah.
Yes, please. Yes, please. What about,
I like your beats, please.
do you like it?
Yeah, I think we recorded a few years ago. Yeah,
Great.
I played with him. Actually, he played with me.
Oh, yeah. Okay, and do you know João Gilberto?
I know him too.
Do you know his wife?
Yes, he sang. He sang.
You be careful. Don't steal her. Don't steal her. Let's do it for Panini.
That's good.
Thank
more phrase.
Well, like you said in the tambourine that you do on guitar, sometimes I like to phrase as a tambourine. I can, Leander, you can do it, like the tambourine samba on the drums. Like just play one chord. That's the idea. So I try to get some parts of the drums and to phrase and to improvise, and also the melody. We need to know where the drums is and the accents, so we can phrase, play the melody, improvise. When we play samba, we accent more. We need to be more strong. But in the bossa nova, it can be softer. So depending of the mood, but I can do, or I can do. If I was playing with a lot of percussionists, I would.
The pans, all the pans they brought home from home.
I remember one day we were playing some, I think in Leander's thing, playing the rhythms. It was a samba, and Renato was in the studio too. And he told me, come on man, playing dirty. I don't remember that, but I remember. And I was playing all soft, and you play dirty. I don't want this beautiful thing, just play dirty. I said, okay, I will do that. I can re-record it if I don't like it. And okay, I like it. And then it was maybe 10 years ago, that made me start to think how to phrase in different styles, not only that, but the difference between samba and bossa nova. So you need to be more strong when playing samba.
Oswaldo can talk a little bit about the function of the bass. He brought today the electric bass because Hamilton told us that there are only electric bass players, but he also plays the acoustic, and he can do whatever he wants in both, but he would demonstrate on the electric.
Yes, in Bossa Nova, like the first recording, as I said, of João Gilberto, he asked the bass player to not play with him and do not like, you want just the guitar and the percussion instrument. So when you have like a double bass playing Bossa Nova, you usually play more like half notes. If you think in 4/4, if you think in 2/4, you be bar notes. So let's say like Garota de Ipanema, então. Almost like a walking bass, like that. Of course, we can swing. Maybe I can do some like. But the main thing in bossa nova, I don't accentuate more the first beat and then the second beat. They both have the same intensity and duration. But in samba, the opposite. I don't have but if you have a surdo, like in samba you play the first beat, we put the hands in the skin, so it becomes a little higher and dry. And when you play without your hand over the skin, it's get the bottom and the full sound. And a bass player called Luiz Almeida, he has the idea of transpose the surdo to the bass. So he was doing like the muted, the first beat, like so he came with that idea to play the fifth on the bottom. So if you say like we have the C major chord, so he played C and he put the fifth below. So he played very dry the first beat, like. Ele play só dançando. samba, like Luiz Maia brought to the world of bass. Now, bossa nova. That's it. So it's kind of the rhythm of the drums doesn't change that much, but the bass changes a lot, like the way of playing. So you cannot play bossa as a samba. No, you can. But there are like some difference. I play a lot with like different players, and some of them they want, no, I want the traditional bossa. No, man, you can swing a little bit more. Please put some samba in that bossa. So it depends on who you play and how many instruments. So that's like Renato said about the whole thing, the conception. It depends a lot, but have some like difference, like a substantial difference between both styles. But they have a lot in common also. So it's hard to deal and yeah,
You
please.
know, it sounds to me like basically what defined as the bossa drums to the 60s. What's the distinction between bossa and samba?
What's it?
What's the difference? How do you distinguish bossa from samba?
That's you say in the drum set or in the whole thing? In general?
I mean, you
Yeah.
get from, I don't know about Chile,
Posso falar? Ok, vou falar, posso falar da mudança da concepção.
Sim, da composição, da harmonia, do cool.
Okay.
Because as we were talking about that since the beginning, and I can explain also, but we were talking about the whole thing of like the instrumentation, like bossa nova was more, like has more softness and like instruments, like the whole environment of bossa nova, we're using French horn, flutes, using bassoon, and the drums using more like the brushes than the sticks, and the bass not playing the surdo, playing more like quarter notes or half notes. That's a lot of difference, but the subdivision of bossa nova and samba, they are almost the same. So that's the mistake that people like have a lot of confusion because they have the same subdivision of tamborim, of like the surdo, pandeiro, but all the things, all the environment, the clothes that we put, the way of singing, the way of playing, it changes a lot.
And also the harmony in samba is more simple. The harmony in bossa nova included the jazz sounds. The jazz sound that Jobim was aware of this, and also other players. So we would say that the biggest difference is not rhythmically different. Oswaldo showed a detail on the groove of the bass. Bruno talked about the articulation. I'm going to show you some little difference, and that could be applied both for samba or bossa nova. But I think the difference is the same on swing and cool jazz. What's the difference between swing and cool jazz? The instrumentation is pretty much the same as the bass, but the mood of the song, the mood of the tune is different. So and also what we try to make like a scene, the environment where the samba works, and the samba is harder than the bossa. The bossa brings that soft sound. I don't know if we answered your question.
Well, you tend to say that many jazz, like soft, like loud, like hip-hop, so.
Yeah, but you can tell that swing era is different than the cool jazz of Miles Davis and the orchestra of Klaus Ackerman and this stuff. You can tell there's a different, because you are native So you grew up listening to this type of music, but you can tell, but it's kind of hard to tell what's the difference. What exactly the difference between swing and cool jazz, but you can tell the difference when you listen to Bill Evans on piano and you listen to Oscar Peterson. They're both are playing jazz, but Bill Evans has a different style. We brought a lot of stuff from European music, and also Oscar Peterson. But Oscar Peterson has that strength of the African American music. It's different. So I will demonstrate a little. I will use the same song, Samba Bossa Samba, and I'll demonstrate a little detail that can make your piano playing different. Like I did on the guitar, the downbeat and the syncopation, like on the strumming, I'll do the same on the piano. Let's do the harmony of Southern Samba. I'll just come with my left hand and whoops. I'll come with my left hand and I'll play the chords the same way I try to do when I play jazz. The chord comes before the beat. So when the downbeat changes the root of the chord, I already changed the chord. Okay, 1 and 2. It's a good exercise for piano players and guitar players. Have you noticed the difference? I'm playing M1 and 2, M1 and 2, M1 and 2, M1. So I'm playing a scale. If I'm playing this, but I'm playing before the beat. Like the song Desafinado. The melody goes. Okay? But when I play with the music, I want to, It's straight, but I think this come from the words. Okay.
Just what I mentioned yesterday about playing the forward motion.
Mm-hmm.
It is exactly the same thing, but you are actually listening him play.
With the voice, it's easy because if you take the voice out of the recording, it's gonna sound like se você disser que eu desafino amor with the song.
Se você disser que eu desafino amor. All the notes have the same duration. Da-da-da, but they are displaced. So it's a detail that makes a big difference. So if you want to practice and to get this feel and feel natural, just practice the scale of a 16 note before, and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. If they were not playing, you will listen. But I was playing a little before, okay, the beat. Leander, you want to show little details on the drumming and also those differences that you know when you play a real samba. Just play a real samba. Would you play on a bossa? First, it's quiet. it's louder, the samba and the bossa. Because the bossa was supposed to play in apartments in Rio. And the others play on the hill, on the bar. And the Nara Leão, the great bossa nova singer, she was the host of a lot of meetings in her apartment, and they had to play very, very quiet, even when they had a drum set. So the style became a softer style. Of course, sometimes we are so happy we're playing Girl from Ipanema on a place, everybody's screaming, and Leander would do like a samba on Girl from Ipanema. Let's do 1, 2, 1, 2, It's not only a matter of dynamic, it's the intention. The intention of samba is stronger, is loose. And the bossa nova, it represents the cool. I think we could just finish this conversation saying bossa nova is the cool jazz. And the samba is the traditional, maybe the swing. And even the swing, the jazz swing, comes from the traditional, but it's different. It's different. Maybe the samba played on the hill is different than the samba played in other other places. So you have Elis Regina, a great Brazilian singer, and she recorded one anthological album with Jobim. It's called Elise and Tom. It's the finest bossa nova ever played. But she also recorded with a singer called Jair Rodrigues. And she would go like, singing samba. They call Alice Regina. A total different mood. And the music that comes from her mouth is totally different. So when she is bossa nova, she's gracious and holding the, but singing samba, I don't know. I think we have time to play one more tune. What do you want to play? Leander, a bossa. Let's do our version of Bossa Nova.
Thank you.